Greetings! It's time for the pull priority guide. While the last one was a tier list, which just shows you how good units are and how much use they get, that one is a post factum kind of thing where you already have the units and you want to figure out which ones are worth investing in. This one is gonna be here for the purposes of you having like a trillion gazillion pyroxene saved up and you do not know who to spend them on for the best value of your account or the best kind of gameplay so that you don't have to die every time there's a new raid boss that makes you just want to uninstall the game. Here's the card. You can add me on global if you want some top tier units. My PvP rank has gone down because I slept and that's a skill issue. Here's the rules. The point is, if you don't want to watch the rest of the video, and this is horrible for the algorithm, but fuck it, honestly, I'll tell you the main points. You only pull on anniversary, and if there's an S tier unit on a limited banner. If the unit is not on a limited banner, you just wait to get spooked randomly. They will drop from when you pull on the anniversary banner, because the anniversary thing that gives you 6% drop rate for 3-star units. That means if you do a 10 pull, there's a 60% that you'll get one. That means if you do a 10 pull, you are more likely to get a unit than to not get one. Which is kind of insane if you think about gacha rates like that. Yeah, this is what I do, and this is how I have become a whale in the game without actually spending thousands of dollars on it. Yeah. If the S tier unit is limited, then just save for them. If they come right after an anniversary banner, then you can save like 100 pulls on the anniversary banner, but I usually just spend every single pull I have. Even if it keeps him like 10 pulls off a spark, I still do it. So that's the rule set. Let's get into it. As you can see, of course, the anniversary students are already here, and the top tier, you spend all your pyro on them. I put them in this order for their usability, because despite S Hina being the new one and she might be the best, the use cases for S Hoshino are absolutely omnipresent. She gets used in all teams, not only red damage, because she provides so much cost regen, it's insane. Also she heals and tanks. Then you have Mika. Mika just shreds any kind of single target yellow content. And since you already have Hoshino, you do not need to double down on S Hina as much as you need more stuff for the other kinds of content. So that's why she is here in the second place. Hanako, I'm not sure if she should be here or here, because while she's insane at AoE and purple damage, the best case use scenario for her, honestly, is just to have her deal 100% damage to blue enemies, because there's so little purple content in the game. She got used in like one raid and one event where the enemies were purple. She will shine more in the future. She is quite insane. She has a lot of AoE, a lot of damage. She can cycle her burst a lot. Maybe there will be some synergy with other units that come out which trigger when you use your X skills. I'm sure there will be. So she's in this spot for now, and as Hina, she seems to be, from the analysis I've seen from JP players, she seems to be even stronger than Mika. Quite a bit stronger than Mika when it comes to damage. She's red, and she will shred any kind of single target content you come across. And she will be core if you want to do red content. Another thing about as Hina is that she frees up as Hoshino from the team, because she doesn't need as Hoshino to function. So you can have two teams and you can clear Torment quite easily. Otherwise, personally me, I stay away from Torment because you need multiple teams for it, and I just don't feel like sweating all the time when playing this game. And you will see Wakamo in here in the A tier. She's also anniversary, but she is quite underwhelming, so I'm gonna put her in A tier. When the anniversary comes out, she's always gonna, or at least so far, she's always had another banner, except for when she first came out, with her. So there are two units, so it's like this, and then you choose which one to pull. Of course, you pull as Hoshino all the time, and you will probably get Wakamo as a copy just from Hoshino's banner, so you just don't pull on Wakamo at all. Otherwise, if it's only Wakamo and she has the 6% rate up, then you pull on her. Alright, oh yeah, I haven't gotten around to the tiers yet. Must pull is in quotation marks here because, yeah, must pull, let's say this is the S tier for the limited units. If you see a non-limited unit here, then you can pull on them, and it's gonna be a good idea, but I would still, my personal recommendation is wait until you get them randomly. from other banners. Sometimes it might impact your growth though, if you're very unlucky. It's worked out for me. It's worked out for me grandiosely, as you can see with my unit list and with my ranking and stuff. And I don't really try that hard. I don't really sweat this game. I just know some of the theoretical stuff and I like to play it. And still, I can be top tier if I try even a little bit. If I was a no life sweat, then mayhap I could even tussle with the 1 million JP Smurfs we have on the global server. But yeah, must pull for unlimited units. Yeah, feel free to pull on them. Make sure you always have 200 pulls to spark. You don't want to cry yourself to sleep. If there's an unlimited, you can think about it. I would not recommend it, but it's quite alright. So this tier is for either units that are really bad. You will probably see just standard units that are not worth it here, and also any farmable units. The farmable ones, when we're talking about limited ones, are just event that you get for free, welfare students. Let's see. Every other limited unit is either B or A. I do not believe any limited units, any 3-star limited units are gonna be in this tier because they usually make them at least passable, at least quite alright. It wouldn't make any sense otherwise. Why would they make bad limited units? Am I right? So yeah, I think that is it for the rules, and let's just get right into it. So Swimsuit Shiroko, let's put her in A tier because she's core for PvP. So she's here if you care about PvP, and she gets used in some other content. If you don't care about PvP, then just skip like I have, and I'm still top 10, top 100, it depends on the time of day, PvP, even without her. But yeah, she's very good single target blue damage, I believe. These are farmable. This one is a skip for sure. I'm not sure if she's limited even, but so far she hasn't shown her worth at all. Hoshino, farmable. Nonomi, you get her for free as Nonomi. I would put her into A tier, except now as Hina exists, so I'm gonna put her into B tier. And only if you don't have as Hina. If you do have her, I would probably skip her. You already have enough single target. So Ayane, this is a free Ayane. She's really good, but she's free, so you just farm her. But she's definitely well. You can watch my tier list if you want to know about how good the units are. This is a different kind of thing. Let's put Iroha here, somewhere actually up in front. She might be must pull. I'm gonna put her into A tier. She's up now, so it's quite a hot topic on whether you should pull for her or not. Hina free. This Hina, let's put her into high B tier, maybe A tier. I'm not sure. She gets some use. Let's put her into low A tier actually. Pretty good idea. Iori is farmable. Yes, quite farmable. And Swimsuit Iori gets used somewhere, but she's limited. And actually, I'm not sure when was the last time I've seen her get used. So probably not. Ako, let's put her into high A tier or low must pull. She is definitely one of the top units. Let's put her into low must pull actually. All she does, honestly, is give you crit rate, crit damage, but she's really good at it, and she also has a passive heal, which sometimes helps in some comps where you don't have to take a healer. And she just fits into every team, pretty much, almost every team. But there are other units that I prefer using over Akko. Let's put this Akko here into A, because she's core for set content. Otherwise, I'm not sure if she's gonna get any use when you play normal content where you only have 4 strikers and 2 supports. Okay, Onsen. Well, I think she's standard, so I'll put her into skip, despite her being super high on my tier list. She's super funny, as in her gameplay is super fun, and she enables some very fun combos, but I'll just put her into the skip tier. New Year Ano is definitely a skip, unfortunately, even though she's limited, or I'll put her into low B tier, okay, because I said there will be no limited units in this tier. Unfortunately, too low damage, otherwise mobbing yellow content. Seems good on paper. I'll put this Aro into A tier. She seems to, at least she's an upcoming student, so I don't have her experience. From what I've heard from other people, she seems A tier. And I'll put Nuri Mutsuki into... Actually, I'll still put her into low A tier. I did pull on her, and I have not regretted it in the slightest. She has insane AoE blue damage for 2 costs, and she also has a passive skill that deals more AoE blue damage. Very good damage. Let's put NY Kyoko. I would put her into A tier or low S tier. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. She is definitely the premier blue buffing unit. She gets used quite often in blue raids. Not always. I've seen some top teams not use her, despite the damage she gives. But yeah, she's just a stat stick for your other units. Not the most fun gameplay, but she definitely works. Dress Kyoko, I'll put her into high B tier. She seems to be, she's an upcoming one. She's gonna be a single target yellow DPS, I believe. And I've heard other people say, yeah, she's good DPS. You can get her if you want to help her to help you in some raid content. But we have Mika, so I'm quite skeptical about her. And then we have this Haruka, who is quite good. She's quite good. I've seen her in some raids. I'm gonna put her somewhere in between A and B for now. Haruna, farmable, skip. Everybody's saying that she's quite a good bull damage dealer. She was the first one I pulled in the game, and I'm not too sure about her. But she's quite good. Just definitely not a pull priority. Okay, this Haruna, I'll put her into high B tier. Because she deals good damage, she's good in PvP. She has other options, she's not a priority, I would say, especially if you're starting on new. Track, let's put her into low B tier. Kari, she's free. New Kari will be, together with Tresako, probably lower, somewhere, yeah, quite lower than her. She's also core, or not core, but she's really good at set, the upcoming content with the big teams. She summons the truck, it tanks, it gives you a buff or whatever. Quite good. But again, these two are gonna be for set teams. So if you don't want set, then they go quite lower in the priority. Junko is free. New Junko is also free. She seems quite alright, so you can invest into her a little bit, but I would not recommend it, to be honest. Free, Fuka. Unfortunately, you go into the skip pile. New Rifuka, okay, so she is limited. I'm gonna put her into must pull. I'm gonna put her above everyone else for now, because if you do not have Mika, she goes here. Or here somewhere. If you do have Mika, she goes straight up here. Because she makes a single unit cost half of their skill cost for one ultimate. And with Mika and Himari, who we'll get to later, she is absolutely the combo you want to have. And just these 3 units, Mika, anyway, New York Fuka, and Himari will just do combos that you will not believe. They will clear content that took you minutes to clear in one ultimate. I'll get to her later when we're talking about Ui. Senna goes into skip, unfortunately. I've already said in my tier list that she's quite underwhelming. Kasumi is not limited, I believe. I hope. I would say she goes into the skip list. Megu, of course, skip because she is standard. Even though I really like her, she's very cool and she is quite strong. Makoto, limited, A tier, higher than Iroha, I would say. Ibuki, free. Yuka, free. Trek Yuka, let's put her into A tier, high A tier for priority as well. She's not quite must pull. I think this is also the consensus in the community, but she's getting there. Yeah, the more use cases that come out for her, the closer she's gonna get to must pull. She might be must pull even now, to be honest. She's close. Noah, no, she has other alternatives. Nihaha, what's her name? Jesus Christ, Koyuki? No, I don't even remember. Yeah. All I know is Nihaha. She shoots, and she farts. Very cool unit. Let's skip Chihiro. Chihiro, unfortunately, has been power crept to all hell, and she is standard. Amaki is free, farmable. Ahara is free. Camp Hare seems to be an A tier pull, maybe quite high even. Put her somewhere in here, maybe even in here. If you do not have Himari. If you have Himari, feel free to skip her, I would say. Or she goes into B tier for you. And Kotama is free. Kotama with the confusion thing is... I don't think she's limited. No use cases for now, so skip. Let's go with Neru, also farmable. If you were playing the game before, you already have her at 5 stars because of the event. If you're not missing out on much. The limited Neru variant, low B tier, I would put her into skip, but I want to keep limited units out of this tier. She is free. Yeah, these are the lowest, I would say, priority students in the limited banner. And I think Haruna is actually... I think she's actually not limited, right? Yeah. Let's move her here for now. Karen, very good unit, farmable. Bunny Karen, she's gonna go higher in B tier. She's gonna go somewhere right here because she's used in Perodzilla. She deals good blue damage. Free, but very good. Akane, Bunny Akane, she's gonna go in here somewhere above these two, but still not really that is. Toki is gonna go. Let's go high B tier. She was used when she came out. I haven't seen her used since, but she has good numbers, I believe, and her bunny version can go right next to her. Again, I haven't seen much use, but I believe there are good units either way. Free. Free and just another blue damage auto attacker. You will have plenty of those. Hibiki. Hibiki, actually. Let's put her into B tier. Let's save her from the skip tier. Let's put her somewhere below Esnonomi. She's still good. In the tier list, she's still A tier. In the pull priority, if you're not heeding my advice, she can be pulled for. You will get her eventually anyway. I would not pull specifically for her, but she is good. Free, definitely a skip. Free, and there's Himari. Himari, I was thinking about putting her into high A tier because she's not limited, but she is still really good. But heed my advice with the must pull tier if it has any non-limited units. But she's definitely super good, and she fits into pretty much every team. Because she gives you cost region, and that's the most important, I would say, stat to have on the student. Amy is free. This Amy is absolutely skippable, except she's hot. Yuzu is farmable. This Yuzu is free. Midori is skippable and farmable. Momoi is very high tier. She's A tier, but also free. Aris is farmable. Mate Aris, this is dependent on whether you value your time and you have high stress resistance, because she deals very good damage, but she has a low crit rate, meaning you have to reset the raid boss like 20 times to pass it, where she becomes A tier if you have the resistance. Otherwise, I would put her into B tier somewhere next to SNOE. For me, she is a skip. I have used her, I have used her from other people, but yeah, it is pain. She gets the results, but you have to leave a part of yourself with her in the raid. Nagisa is limited, and she seems A tier. She is seeing heavy use in PvP. I'll put her above Iroha for sure. And she just deals AoE red damage and defense down, which is really good. It's free. Skip. Even so, she's limited. She goes here because we have Swim Shirako. Swim Shirako does what she does. She got replaced. If you go into top 100 PvP, you will see Swimsuit Shoko everywhere, but you will not see Mashiro anymore. Power creep, unfortunate. And even if there wasn't power creep, pretty much all that she's used for is PvP, which is kind of not a really good metric to go off. Ichika, she is standard, and she hasn't seen any use yet. Free. Kazusa used to be A tier, just in tier lists, and she used to be a pull in A tier as well, but then Mika came out, and now Kazusa is just another yellow damage dealer, and Mika just outshines Kazusa almost everywhere, so yeah. Natsu is standard. Natsu is only used in Perodzilla. I would say skip. unless you really want to do Perodzilla, in which case I cannot stop you. No matter how much I love this character and her gameplay, Mina, she is a skip because she sees only use in like Kaiten, I believe, the first phase. I use her in other raids. I used her in Gregorius because I really like her and I think she has more potential that people give her. But that's me, and I am schizophrenic, so mayhap do not listen to that. Let's see, Christmas Serena. Skip because she is not limited. Otherwise, she is a good unit. Uh, Christmas Hana definitely skip. Mila Serena, okay, I'll put her somewhere here. No, I'll put her actually here. Definitely still skip, because just because she is hard to build and hard to use for now until we understand how to use her better, and she has other options if you want to boost your piercing damage, which is the yellow damage color. Free, unusable, unfortunately. In the tier list, I put her higher than unusable, but in practice, she never sees use anywhere because of the 10 cost. Unless you have some specific event or a joint task force kind of thing. Azusa is free, I believe. Yeah. Swimsuit Azusa, low B tier because limited. Koharu is free. This Hanako is free. Free Reisa, I believe she's not limited, so she would go into high skip tier. I really hope she's made farmable, and I have to say my apologies to the one guy who was protecting the honor of his favorite waifu in the comments of my last video. Unfortunately, the only thing that from what I've heard from him is that she gets used in if you have multiple teams for Perodzilla, because she has a cleanse, a self cleanse, just like Natsu. But then again, Natsu exists, and Natsu is in this tier, so it would be quite unfair if I put Reisa above her. Ui, here is Ui. I'll put Ui into. It's quite difficult. I'll put Ui into very low A tier, because despite her being S tier pretty much in the tier lists, I've had her maxed out since the day she came out, and I have used her, I think, twice since then, and it's been like a year and a half or two, I'm not sure. Which is, yeah, this is suboptimal. She lowers the skill cost of the unit you use her on twice by half. So she's like Nurifuka, but she gives less of an attack buff or damage buff, but she has 2 uses. And also she costs 5 to use, while Nurifuka costs 2, I believe. She is only used in teams where you cannot really use Nurifuka because you have 2 high-cost units on the field. So if you're using Mika and you're using Kayoko and you're playing Hard Raid, then you use Ui on the field. Because Ui is super squishy, and she can buff 2 units at once, pretty much. You can have 2 units buffed during your rotation. So she buffs Kayoko, let's say. Kayoko uses her skill. Then you rotate where you have Mika ready, and then you buff Mika. Mika uses, and then Kayoko can use again without you using Ui because she still has the second charge, and then you just keep repeating that. So yeah, this is all that Ui is honestly used for. Even though, despite being good, she barely sees use, so I'm gonna be putting her in low A tier. Swimsuit Ui, she is limited. Same issue as with Ui, honestly. I'm gonna put her higher, because on paper she's good. I have not seen anyone use her yet, or I've seen like 2 or 3 uses since she came out, which is weird to me, because I thought she was gonna be used in all piercing content, but so far there are better teams than using her. She has been used in the last Grand Assault for yellow damage, so that's good to see. What she does is buff your piercing units. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and she is limited. So let's leave her there. So free Sakurako is standard. Mari is okay. So we have limited Mari here. I'll put her here because all she gets used for, honestly, is just Hieronymus, and then again you can use Kokona for that. Especially with the new set content coming out, that will let you level up your units past their maximum. and you can boost the healing rate of Kokona to where she can insta-heal the relic in her Onims with just one use of her ultimate and also just one use of her passive heal. Which kind of cuts Mari out of the need to score high in that content. And I've been able to score high in Heroes because goddamn you have Hoshi now. How do you not beat Heroes if you have that unit? Standard and no, not farmable yet. Not limited. And these are kind of the same unit. They do the same thing. One is on field, one is off field, one is blue damage, the other one is, I think she's red, I'm not sure, or blue. No, barely any use for... I have not seen use for this version of her. I have seen use for the normal version on blue, on Perodzilla, I think, because the... But just because the terrain favored her. Or some Grand Assault where you need AoE damage. Oh, I think it was Blue Heron. No, I'm not sure who it was, but it was some blue content. No use, standard. I have not seen use for her. Let's put you. So just like New Year Kayoko, she is the premier buffer for purple content. And what I did when Kurokage came out, which is the only purple boss we have so far, is I just borrowed her from someone else and I cleared that, and the raid itself is RNG hell. Would not recommend playing it for fun for sure. So while she is good, she is not good because she is good, but because she is your only option, and she might remain that way. If you want to do purple, she goes into top A tier, maybe you must pull, but you can always borrow her. So I would put her into there. Kaho is standard, and she just deals single target piercing. Chise is free. Since Chise is... I'll put her higher on the B tier, just because she can get used for HUD. Otherwise, she shares banners with Swimsuit Izuna, and you just pull for Swimsuit Izuna. Skip, free, S tier unit, you get for free. Free unit, farmable. I think standard. So skip. Unfortunately, useless unit. Michiru is free. Izuna is farmable now. Yes. And Swimsuit Izuna is gonna go into high A tier. But just because of her passives. So... and because she also lets you designate targets, so she's core for Gauze. If you're a new player, you might not have her in your A tier, she would go to B tier, somewhere in the top. Because she is quite niche, but her passives are so good, she gets used in quite a lot of content where she doesn't do anything, she just stands there and looks good. Tsukuyo, she is standard. Shun is standard, but I'll put her very high into B tier, possibly low A tier. But Ui gets much more use than Shun. Shun is just here for you to cheese those event challenges that just aren't working out, or just if you want to do PvP, then you need Shun. You need Shun to compete in PvP. It is a stupid entry bar that they made, but this is just how the cookie crumbles, I suppose. Small Shun, unfortunately, not really. Yeah, she's quite underwhelming. Kokona is standard, but I'll put her with Mari. Actually, I'll put her higher than that. I would say she goes right next to Esnonomi, because she's just good. She's just so good. And also her kit is quite good as well. Yeah, anyway, yes, her kit is very useful. She does not only healing, but also she lowers your skill costs a little bit, which is a good bonus, but her heals are just super good, and she stays alive, which is the funniest part of a healer. She actually stays alive because every time she heals someone with her X, she also heals herself for like half the value. Standard skip. Rumi is a skip, but she is not to be slept on. I'll put her right next to Mina. I really like her. The bouncing heal and the last ingredient makes her useful in some content where other people just forget about her completely. The rats, they go in here. Enough said. Chirino is usually in the pool, recommended pool. But I'll put her into high skip tier because I think first off, I think everything past here is completely unsorted. I was just putting things here randomly, but Shireen goes into high skip tier because she used to be A tier, or yeah, she used to be like A tier, then she became high B tier. Now we have other options like Makoto, let's say, but Chirino is still held back by two issues, and one is the high cost, meaning she staggers rotations where she doesn't insta-kill all the enemies on like higher difficulty, meaning you have to buff her, otherwise the enemies will probably kill her before she can regen another use of her ultimate or her X skill. And the other issue is the low accuracy, where you just use her X skill and then there's like half the enemies just standing because they didn't take all the damage, which is not fun. Yeah, Swimsuit Cherino or Onsen Cherino skipped here, unfortunately. Marina will also go high in the skip tier somewhere because, well, first of all, she has a niche in PvP and she can cheese some things because of her own invulnerability, but she really doesn't tank all that much, unfortunately. So you will probably not use her in any kind of story content. You might use her in like the bounty, where you have to kill all the yellow mobs, or what's it called, commissions, in commissions, yeah. Otherwise, no. She is free and useless. Onsen, okay, Onsen, god, I keep forgetting names today. Nodoka. Onsen Nodoka will go somewhere here, I would say. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for her, because she is probably still the best healer in the game overall, or has the highest heal. And she gets used in quite a lot of cons. She gets used in JT, in Joint Task, which people don't really mention, but yeah, every time there's a joint task with the Scarecrows, you use her. And then she gets used in Hieronymus, and she gets used whenever you have very difficult challenges in events. So she is definitely worth it. I would put her somewhere here, next to Niru Mutsuki. Let's skip these. Yeah, these are standard. Meru, she sees use in Wakamo Hovercraft pretty much. That's it. Momiji skip. Also have not seen her get any use. Kana, unfortunately no use, despite being yellow Wakamo on paper. Kirino is free. Fubuki is free. Miyaki is standard. All she does is stun. I have seen her get some use, so she would go somewhere higher, let's say. And Swimsuit, I have not seen her get much used, but let's put her next. Let's see. Let's say that these two units are not fully, let's say, realized yet in the game. Asaki will go higher, definitely. She is a skip, but she sees a lot of use in HOD. Simsitsaki, I have not seen anyone use her yet. Miyu, low numbers. Seems good. Was used, I suppose, by very desperate players that really wanted to find a use for her in when Hovercraft of Camo came out, then she got replaced with Meru. And she is also used to when the PvP season resets and you want to let other people get high placement for free pyroxene, so you just remove all your units and you leave Miu there, and it's a funny joke. And everybody does it. If you do not do it, you will be shunned, but then again, it's a game full of anime nerds, not much of a loss there. But yeah, that's all that Miu is used for, unfortunately. And this Miu version is free. Mo is definitely a skip, but she's a bit more useful. Simpson Mo is not out yet. I do not know what you are doing here. And then we have Arius squad. Okay, so Saori is single target red. Now Hina is coming out, so Saori is gonna drop from low B tier into skip tier. But she's still cool and definitely waifu material, so let's leave her there. And then we have the rest. Hime will go higher. Hime will go quite high, despite not being limited. Just because of the... She will go right here, I think. Or maybe like this. She has very good tanking capability. She has that AoE heal, which is invaluable in some content. Cannot be replaced. Misaki, that's a skip. I think only sometimes she gets used in some Hieronymus environments. And unfortunately, Hiyori is brought down by the need to have many Arius members for her to deal good defense down debuffs. And then you have... And then there's nothing else. Then after Hiyori, there's literally nothing else. So this is the tier list. Focus on these units, I would say. These two units are just here for the set content for now. So I would... And this unit is only here for PvP. So I'll probably take them out. Hina is mostly here because the Hina fans will murder me in my sleep if I do not put her high enough. And Aru is here because speculations. Otherwise, I think this is quite solid. Yeah, this turned out quite well. And the units that are in B tier usually end up here just because of the units that are available in the anniversary and must pull tiers. Otherwise, they would be higher. Yeah, I believe that is it. Yep. Yeah, one like and I make a waifu tier list, and that will kill my entire channel. Have a good day.